Hey YouTube, it's your girl Aunt Juliette coming to you live from Beauty and Spirit TV. So I told you guys about how we're going to have a couple of special guests. So today we have Miss Valerie. Today is her 25th birthday. So Valerie is an event specialist here in Atlanta. She do weddings, she do all type of events. So whatever you need, like just call her. You know, she can do all that. She's amazing. But I kind of wanted her to share her story with you guys because it's just to see God's goodness even through that is amazing. And we're talking about building business in the uncomfortable. So word from somebody. So Valerie, tell us about the transition. Tell us about how you started with One Soul Events. Tell us how you got the name.
Okay.
One Soul Events. That's really soulful. Like you can feel that in the spirit.
Well, I guess I would say that it started in 2010. I came up to Atlanta from Tallahassee, Florida, and attended a conference. It was a career conference, and everyone was kind of networking, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I ran into this lady who said she planned events for a living. And I said, Lord, like, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And I was just so excited because I finally found out what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that was in 2010. And about 4 years later, in 2014, I attended a conference at that same location, but it was for a different conference. And I was talking to this young woman or this group of people, and I was like, you know, I really feel like the Lord wants me to start a business, but I don't think I could do that, or I could never be an entrepreneur, or like, who am I to be able to start an events company?
Yeah.
And when I shared it with everyone, one of my biggest concerns, you know, amidst all of those concerns was, how am I going to be able to bring souls to Christ? How am I going to be able to advance God's kingdom by planning events? Like, that sounds so trivial. I feel like I should be abroad doing different types of outreaches, but I was like, events, like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
And after all of that, and I shared that openly, there was a young lady that just basically said to me, you know, as long as you bring one person to Christ, you would have done more than enough. If you, as long as you bring one soul. And for me, I was like, oh my goodness, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
If I bring one person, that would have been enough. And of course, I would love to bring a lot of souls to God's kingdom. So it's just really amazing to know that even if I do one, that it still counts.
Yeah.
So I kind of took the name from that, and I went on to call it One Soul Events. And yeah, that's the business name now.
That's amazing. So let's talk about transition from you having corporate background, from you being like, all right, I know, boom, 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 this being so strategic, to going to faith.
Not easy, very difficult, especially when you haven't really accepted what the Lord has said. Because sometimes when the Lord speaks to us, it can be difficult on the front end to say, okay, God, I receive it, I'm going to walk with it.
Yeah.
And that's when things, for me at least, got a little bit harder because I understood what the Lord wanted me to do, but I didn't move in it. So it took him taking me out of 3 jobs in a span of 1.5 years, and which brought me to the lowest points that I've been in my whole life. For me to finally wake up and say, okay, God, you want me to move. And then when I lost my last job, I lost it on a Friday, and then that night he said, you're going to work on Monday, you know, for yourself as a wedding specialist. And he gave me my title, and I went and spent time with him in the morning, and then from 9 to 5 worked on my business. Granted, I wasn't getting a paycheck, but I still said, Lord, I'm going to be faithful with what you told me to do, and I'm going to go in, be at home, and work on my business.
Yeah. I remember like it was yesterday. We have a groupie within Women of Kairos, and Val wrote that I just lost my job. And like instantly, I called her, and like 6 other girls was on the call. But it was so amazing because just to see the support that we have for each other, and we were like right there, because when you know God has purpose or something greater for somebody, it's like you instantly are attached to them, and you're like, I'm gonna support you whatever way that I can. So us being on a call and just encouraging her, it was just crazy because I'm like, Lord, this girl just got fired from her job, but she's still happy. Like, I could be a witness to it. I mean, you know, things happen, but it's kind of like God is like still good because he wants us. He has so many gifts and purpose for our life. And it's like, would you want to get to heaven and God be like, so I gave you all these gifts and you got here on earth and then use anything that I gave you and you're using it, you're building his business, his kingdom, one sole event. I would have never, nobody but God.
No, of course. And it's so interesting that you bring up that call, because one thing that I'd kind of been avoiding and really confessing is just the real reason why I wasn't moving forward in what the Lord had spoken. And I was just afraid. It was fear. It was fear of not being enough. Fear of not being able to actually accomplish what the Lord had said to do. And with my 6 sisters being witness to that moment, the fear left, because I started to get to the root of the reason why I wasn't moving forward, and everything that my rebellion had left behind. 3 jobs in corporate America, and confusion on my part, because I'm like, Lord, why don't I get to keep my job? But I just decided, I'm gonna actually move forward. And the Lord also told me that I could find another job, but he was just gonna take me back out. And I just had to ask myself, like, do I want to go around the mountain again? Do I want to go and roam around in the wilderness like the Israelites did for 40 years, when the Lord is saying this is your straight shot to the promised land? So I had to evaluate that. It didn't take very long, and I said, all right, Lord, let's do this.
And talk about how your attitude has changed through the process, because you're in it right now.
Yeah.
Like, transition is not easy. Being uncomfortable is not easy. Stepping out on faith is not easy. Doing what God calls you to do is not easy. But to have people on that journey with you is so much better than doing it by yourself, because when you all step out on faith, you are going to have fear. But you got to be real with God and be like, Lord, look, I'm scared and I don't know what to do. I don't even know how my bill's going to get paid. I don't know how I'm going to put this gas in this car. I'm about to turn my lights off next week. Like, it's those thoughts that come in our head. But God is like, I got you. And I'm going to provide for you. And I'm going to make a way for you. I will never have you out here by yourself. So being in that process, being in that faith power walk, because this is real. How did you replace your fear with that faith that God is like, I'm building you up from faith to faith?
It wasn't easy, at all. I would say the first thing I had to do was go back to the basics and find out who I was in the Lord. Find out what the Lord says about me and about his unfailing love towards me, and how he goes before me, and how he is with me, and how he has ordered my steps. I had to constantly encourage myself in the word. And when I couldn't do that for myself, I had to find accountability. I had to find people who understood what the Lord had told me to do, so that they could encourage me and remind me why I'm on this journey to begin with. And that's where I started, was with the Lord. I had to go back to him, because he's the one who spoke these things over me. He's the one who said, I want you to start your business. You don't know where it's gonna go. It's not about you planning events. It's about who you're gonna touch as you move. So for me, I had to hold on to that, and that meant writing it down, like it says in Habakkuk, making your vision clear and making it plain and putting it on the back of my door, so that every time I walk out of my bedroom, I understand what the mission is. I understand what I'm supposed to do that day. And it's so difficult, because it's not traditional. It's the complete opposite of what the world shows you, and you really have to be motivated, and you have to understand who you are in Christ. Because if it weren't for Jesus, then why would I be doing this? It'd be for personal gain, and that doesn't help anyone except for myself. I'd be storing up treasures in this world for me. And that's not what it's about.
So we're talking about building business in the uncomfortable. And I know that's what season that you're in right now. Talk to us about transitioning uncomfortable and now birthing this thing and now walking in it. Because you're in it. So Val just, on her 25th birthday, what better to do than just to get a job and purpose, right? Can you share with us a little bit about what happened today?
Yes, today I got a part-time job at Davis Bridal. And it's pretty ironic, because I feel like when you arrive at 25, which is kind of like the mid-crisis, thinking part of anyone's life, for the most part, it just kind of makes you think, helps you realize, okay, what am I doing? What's going on? Where am I at in my life? And for me to be getting a part-time and still have a degree, it's just, it can be a little confusing to a lot of different people. Like, what are you doing? What's going on? But I feel like even in the last year or two, like the Lord truly has just broken me down and has just stripped different things from me, including, my corporate background. I was graduated from Florida State and then went straight to work afterwards, and I've been in corporate America for about 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And now that, what he wants is happening, like those things have gone away, and he's starting me at the bottom. He wants me to get that experience. And I feel like at David's Bridal, which is tied into, planning weddings with my business, One Soul Events, and just being able to meet different clients and things like that. So I feel like that's where I'm at right now. And it's just interesting because, I'm talking to you guys about, stepping out in faith and what the Lord has done in my life, but I'm still in it. Like right now, I'm still going through trying to follow the Lord and just be obedient to his leading, especially, stepping out and being the CEO of my business right now. So it's an interesting journey.
It's amazing because you can see, even the way you start at the bottom, or God don't think it's the bottom. It's like, I'm preparing you for this. But think about the tools and everything that you're going to gain in the process, and the people that you're going to meet that's going to connect you to this person. Because God is a connector, and God is so strategic. So it's like he's already making a way, So I just love it because I see you 5 years from now. Even with everything that everybody in our group is doing, we can all connect in some kind of way. So it's like you're already there. You're just walking in it now. So let everybody know how to get in contact with you.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, you can find me on Facebook and on Instagram, One Soul Events, or you can just shoot me an email, the number 1soulevents@gmail.com.
So ladies, if you want a wedding plan, whatever, she do all types of events. So I will have all the information for Valerie at the end of this YouTube. Share, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching.
See ya.
Bye.